Oh, just great opportunity to play the game of ball, extend your season. You know, I think that's the fun part. I didn't feel like I played enough ball this year to my standards, so it's good to get some extra games in the playoffs, you know, to just play the game, have some fun out there and compete. So preparation is always fun. Working on get some extra time to work on your individual game in this little 4 or 5 day break in between the playoffs is always cool for me. So yeah, I'm feeling good. Russ was talking after the game about being excited about playing against the first time in the playoffs. How are you doing about that right now? About the individual matchup? Just being in postseason against them. Yeah, it's always good playing against, you know, Hall of Famers, some of the best players to ever touch a court, you know. That's what you get with Russ and Kawhi out there. Guys that, you know, you seen grow up in the league and still playing elite ball and they 12, 13, 14, 15th year, you know, these dudes are getting old, you know. So to get an opportunity to compete against the best is always fun. It's something that you know, you just store away and talk about when you're done playing, getting to be able to play against the best players. So it's going to be fun.
Obviously, you've only had 8 games with your new teammates. Is the chemistry angle overrated, or do you think that actually means something? And considering the Clippers have made a lot of changes too, do you think it's kind of a wash? You know, just what do you think about the situation?
Yeah, chemistry matters. You know, being on the same page with your team matters. But in a perfect world, I would have played more than 8 games with this team, but I just got a 1,000 games in the NBA, and I figured it out.
Building on that, what do you attribute to how seamless it was after your 2 absences? Like, what did you learn from the team? What did you attribute this to seamlessness and how you were able to play with this team after both of the absences?
Yeah, I'm a true vet. I mean, I've been in the league for 15 years playing, but 16 years, you know, around the league. So I played with so many different players under so many different coaches. I know a few coaches here before I got here. So I know I had a couple teammates that I played on some teams with before I got here. So I think that stuff adds and helps with, you know, speeding that transition up, you know, just getting used to your teammates. So these guys have watched me play, played against me, scouted against me plenty of times. So they kind of know my game and vice versa. I've scouted and played against these guys too. So, you know, all that stuff matters, I feel like. And I think once we get on the court, the basketball is basketball at the end of the day. We've been playing this game since we was kids, so we'll figure it out.
What did you learn during those 2 absences, though, about this team, how you fit in?
I mean, not too much. To be honest, I was mainly focused on me and trying to get back right so I can be the best that I can for my team. So it wasn't too much, you know, internally, I wasn't thinking too much of what was going on with the team. These guys got it, you know, so I don't have to focus too much on what they were doing while I was away. You know, this is a great structure, great foundation, so I didn't have to worry too much. My focus was just mainly seeing how, you know, get to a point where I could be the best version of myself for these guys too.
What advice are you giving your teammates that haven't been in the playoffs with a lot of attention that comes with it and a lot of pressure that comes on them? But what advice have you given this team before?
I don't really give advice. They'll figure it out once they get thrown in the fire.
Kevin, when it comes to the style of the game and the flow of the game, what changes the most in the playoffs?
I think it slows down a bit. If you watch even the play-in game last night, I know it went to overtime, but I felt like that was a slower-paced game compared to the 140s of the season. And even some of that first game in Atlanta, too, was a slow-down physical game. So I think that's really what playoffs is. You know, a lot of the stuff, the pet plays that you ran throughout the regular season might not be there. So just got to knuckle down and guard up and you know, play strong on offense and see what happens.
With a lot of teams in today's game wanting to play quicker, is there even more of an adjustment there because of how much it slows down?
Yeah. I think teams nowadays play 3 or 4 different ways, so they can figure it out. You know, that's what makes our league so dangerous right now. Every team can do multiple things and play multiple ways, so you got to be prepared for anything. You mentioned Kawhi and you know, that championship against finals. What is it about him that makes him, you know, special talent in the match? It's funny. He played against Kawhi when he was young, coming into the league, and he didn't have this role that he has now of being a superstar. So I was just saying his development over time, and it's been cool to watch. You know, it's been tough to play against, but it's cool to watch, and he's somebody that brings it every time he steps on the floor. So he ups the level of everybody around him.
Away from the court, you know, with having family here, since your mother, so
important to you, the relation's been. What's it like for her adjusting to the West, back to the West? My mom's been everywhere, so she can adjust to any and adapt to anything. She low maintenance, so yeah, she'll figure it out. I probably the midday heat will probably be an adjustment for her the most, but I think she'll figure it out.
Fans here kind of have a bad feeling with how the season ended last year in the playoffs for the Suns. Since your time here, have you detected anything with this team that's a motivating force going into this postseason?
No, I don't think. I think guys are self-motivated, regardless of wins and losses. I think everybody in here wants to be a great ball player, a great teammate, and want to go out there and win basketball games. You know, which you've experienced, all of that stuff definitely helps you and shapes your thought processes moving forward. But for the most part, you leaning on just wanting to be great yourself and wanting to add some positive to the team. So I didn't sense that at all.
Let's go back to last summer when this first became a possibility with the trade request. Actually being at this point, going to the playoffs, nerves, certainly get us excited. It's kind of a feeling getting ready for try.
You know, it's a great part of the year. Every basketball fan in the world is going to be tuned in, so it's excited. And feel, free just from all the stuff you worked on all year. You prepared for this time, so just go out there and play.
There's not a lot of guys that, Kawhi and Norman that can get to their spots in the mid-range. Just it's the challenge to just kind of sit down and stay with them off the dribble and make them go somewhere else.
Yeah, just play tough, play strong. Guys that can score on all three levels are the hardest guys to guard in the league. So you just got to be prepared for anything. And most of that stuff you make up for by just playing hard and strong and physical.
Kevin, obviously, the playoffs, you also going to be on TNT. Charles is going to be on the mic. You're going to see if you would get on the same page about stuff and about you.
We both play ball. We both play in the NBA, both in superstar caliber players. So I'm sure we can relate on a lot of things in life. We've accomplished and experienced the same things in this league. So yeah, I wouldn't say we're not on the same page. We may disagree on some stuff, but if you watch TNT, those guys disagree every day. So, but to the core of it, we're all ball players. We grew up ball players, and we went through the journey as ball players. So I say we're on the same page already.
What would you say that if you could just sit down and talk to it?
I probably wouldn't sit down with Charles, to be honest.
You guys actually had that Zoom up with him.
Yeah.
That might have been the first.
Yeah. I mean, we had some good moments, some cool moments, but like I said, to your point, we to the core, I respect everything Charles brought to the game of basketball, and I've tried to emulate all the greats in some form or fashion. So I'll never take away, what he means to the game of ball. So yeah, I think we're all covered.
And those times you played against the Clippers, it's currently on the team that's come off the bench that was basically disrupted your teams or basically created tough matchups for you.
Guys off their bench. I played against all those guys, and they've all had impacts off, from Eric Gordon off the bench. I know he starts now, but you never know what can happen. He played off the bench. Bones Highland is playing good ball for them. A spark plug for them, and obviously Norman Powell come off the bench playing against him. We're just scouting and doing all that stuff against him in the finals. So him and Kawhi play well off each other. So. They got a deep team, and we're looking forward to competing against them.
I remember the first time you played against Russell from your field. And now you guys have played against each other, I think, 11 times since. Has that died down, or is it still in that juice?
I think Russ is competitive against any player he plays against. I don't think it was just specific to me. I think a lot of the fans and the people that were watching it was high intensity for them. It was entertainment for them. So. But for his players, it's just another game. But Russ is that way. I played with him for so long and watched him for so long. He was that way against everybody. So I don't expect anything different.
You tweeted about it, but I just wanted to give you a chance. The 65 game limit for awards. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I think, the NBA always do right by us. So I'm usually one of those guys. Whatever they choose for the criteria, it is. You got to get those games, play those games to get it. So we're moving in a great direction as a league. So it's all good with me.